On this channel, I've mostly been focusing on video games because I am a gamer. Derogatory. But I do fancy myself a little bit of Japanese media. Honestly, I'd say anime is one of my favorite art forms. It's art! Through the years, I've consumed my fair share of anime/manga. And out of all the series I've seen, there is one story that I believe, no hyperbole, is the greatest piece of fiction of all time. And that's One Piece. Alright, let's just get into it. Similar to how a person's first console shapes their entire future and tastes, a person's starter anime is an integral part of their DNA. Not to brag, but I did choose the one that is the highest grossing graphic novel series in the world, just behind Superman, but you know, brag about your shitty little ninja series. Now, One Piece is big and all, but what if I told you that there's a series even bigger, even more iconic, even more influential? You'd probably say no shit and I'll talk about Dragon Ball already.
Super Saiyan blue form.
At this point, it is a meme how much padding the Dragon Ball anime has. And trust me, I have had my fair share of padding with the One Piece anime. So I've always had the mindset of never watching Dragon Ball, but one day while I was scrolling through the Shonen Jump app, as I do, I passed by a familiar face and a little idea popped in my head. What if I read it? Then maybe I could form my own opinion and figure out what everybody else sees in this. Maybe I can join in on the discourse of who's stronger than who and run around pretending to do kamehamehas. But when I started, I saw this. Who's this little boy? I want buff men! Well, looks like to get to the iconic Dragon Ball Z, I first have to get through the original Dragon Ball manga and witness After creating a critically acclaimed manga, Akira Toriyama said, "I'll fucking do it again," and creates Dragon Boy. What? Dragon Boy features the adventures of a boy named Tang Tong and an unlikely ragtag group who go on a journey to the Flower Country. It combines the comedic styles of... After that, Toriyama says, "I'll fucking do it again," and creates Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball features the adventures of a boy named Goku and an The story starts off with our little boy Goku, who's living all by himself out in the woods until his fateful meeting with Bulma, who's tracking down the legendary Dragon Balls. She tracks the balls with a radar that she's invented, and it leads her straight to the monkey boy who holds one of the 7. She explains that after collecting all 7 of them, it spawns a magical dragon that grants the user one wish. Now, not wanting to give up the Dragon Ball that his late adopted grandfather Gohan gave him, damn, that's a fucking mouthful, Goku decides to join Bulma on the hunt for the Dragon Balls, mostly because he just wants to be part of this fun little adventure. And what an epic journey it is. They meet the Great Turtle Hermit, an old pervert master martial artist named Master Roshi. They then save a village from a transforming pig named Oolong. In the manga, you kind of have to make up voices for what the characters sound like. I mean, you can kind of assume what Goku and Bulma would sound like, but what do you think he sounds like?
This is the bona fide 100% original me.
So he joins the crew and they travel to the desert where they meet the bandit Yamcha and his sidekick Puar. You see, Puar went to the same shapeshifting school as Oolong. That's why they can shapeshift. That's why. It was their major. They help the Ox King and his daughter Chi-Chi put out a castle fire with the help of Master Roshi's signature, most iconic move in all of anime, the Kamehameha. As the team travel, they slowly but surely gather up the Dragon Balls. But they are not the only ones searching for these balls. The Pilaf gang are also searching for them to make their emperor the supreme ruler of the world. This gang consists of Mai, a beautiful lady, Shu, a ninja, Dog, and the leader of the group, Emperor Pilaf, who is a monster-type earthling. The Pilaf gang conk the team, Yamcha now included, and steal their balls. But just as Pilaf's about to get his wish, Oolong jumps in and steals it from him, wishing for a pair of women's panties. Cool. After the wish is granted, the balls rise into the air and shoot off into separate directions, unable to be used or tracked for a whole year. Pilaf is pissed and locks everyone in a cell. While making pre-death small talk, Goku tells the story of how his grandpa Gohan died. One full moon night, a giant ape-like creature appeared, busting up the shack he lived in and killing him in the process. Goku then proceeds to stare into the full moon, turning into a giant ape-like creature and busting up the cell that they currently live in. Now, thankfully, the rest of the crew is alive, but now they got a giant monkey on the loose. Puar turns into a pair of scissors and, using the knowledge of tail equals weakness, cuts off Goku's tail. He turns back into a little boy, and As the sun rises and villains are defeated, the group go their separate ways to kill time until the Dragon Balls are ready to grant wishes once more. What are you doing? Can't you see I'm trying to record a YouTube video? For the first saga of the story, I'd say it's alright. The difficult part comes when comparing it to other sagas, since this one is just so different. Coming right after a comedy series, Toriyama starts Dragon Ball with a comedic and wacky tone. The villains are generic bad guys with baseline desires, there's a bunch of wacky characters and talking animals, everybody's sexualizing a 16-year-old. You definitely see glimpses of where he'll eventually take the story, with minor action here and there, specifically with the martial arts battles between Goku and Yamcha. But the martial arts action definitely ramps up in the next saga. Tournaments are an absolute staple in Shonen. You get a cast of interesting characters that the author can throw together to fight our team. Sometimes it's an excuse to get our teammates to fight themselves. It'd become a bit of a cliche, but Dragon Ball invented that shit. So after everyone bails, Goku decides to roll up to Roshi's place since he really showed some power when blasting the Ox King's castle away.
Not bad for an old man. I'm not as rusty as I thought.
But Roshi says, "Nah, I'm not taking students. I don't want to train you unless you're with a baldy." Krillin! So Goku and his new bestie begin their grueling 8-month-long journey with the Turtle Hermit. Training's done, it's time for the tournament, and the whole gang's here! The preliminaries are a breeze for Goku, Krillin, and Yamcha, who joins alongside them, and they move on to the quarterfinals with 5 other fighters. We have Bacterian, a stinky man who loses to Krillin because he doesn't have a nose. That is the first and last time they will ever acknowledge that design choice. Then there's Nam, a man who toes the line of being a racial stereotype, who fights Ranfan, a woman who distracts their enemies by stripping down naked. She loses. Girin, a dragon. I don't know, man. He shoots gum in a martial arts tournament. Goku beats him by growing his tail back, somehow. Cool. Last but not least, we have Jackie Chun, a mysterious old man who swiftly takes out Yamcha in the second round. Now, for those keen-eyed viewers, or viewers with eyes, it's pretty obvious that Jackie Chun is just Master Roshi in disguise. But the reason that he's participating is actually really well made. He knows his students are strong. I mean, he trained them himself. But the core of his martial arts teaching is that of self-improvement. He knows that if they won, they would grow arrogant and wouldn't feel the need to improve anymore. So the old man disguised himself to push his students, to show that there are stronger people out there. And this lesson is taught to the two, with Krillin being the first to get defeated by the Master, and then Goku in the final match losing just barely to Master Roshi. This message of self-improvement and always working to be the best you can be is a really powerful message that personally I feel sort of gets lost as the series progresses. This arc is really where Toriyama starts kicking up the action. There's still a lot of goofy moments that personally take me out of the story a bit, but at this point I'd probably say it's about 50-50 action comedy. But as we move on to the next saga, we'll see Toriyama start shifting the scales even more in the action department. Alright, this saga is massive, so I'm going to try to get through it quickly. Goku's looking for the Dragon Balls, but so is somebody else, an evil organization called the Red Ribbon Army. He first goes toe-to-toe with them when he encounters Colonel Silver, who the boy promptly defeats. After stealing his ride like a GTA character, Goku crash lands in this village being oppressed by Red Ribbon Army. More importantly though, they got a Dragon Ball. He learns from a family that Red Ribbon stole their mayor, so he strolls up to Muscle Tower to give him a few choice words. The boy runs in, guns blazing, and works his way up each floor, fighting stronger and stronger enemies, eventually earning himself a Dragon Ball. The Dragon Radar is brokey, so he rolls up to the Kame house and has Bulma fix it. Goku has her and Krillin join along in a little submarine adventure to find the next ball. They make it to an underwater cave/base, but are followed by Captain Blue from Red Ribbon, who knows about Goku's little escapades. The team have a few clashes with Blue, Krillin nearly dying because of Blue's telekinetic powers. Okay, but Goku obviously defeats him and the crew escape. Blue's still alive! He snatches their balls while Goku and his friends are vibing and flies off in his jet. Goku follows the general, but gets sidetracked with some canon filler. For those of you who don't know, canon is a part of the story that actually happens. It's what shapes the story. The term filler is used to describe storylines that aren't canon. They have no impact on the wider story and are usually made to pad out the series. Dragon Ball, like most shonen, has a lot of filler, mostly in the anime, that I'm not going to get into in this video. This arc, though, sadly, is canon since Toriyama wrote it and it's in the manga. Goku's chase leads him to Penguin Village, where he meets Aral, Arale? This whole arc consists of inside jokes and character intros to the entire previous cast. Sucks if you never read Dr. Slump. Thank God this arc is only a few chapters, but I swear this is the only arc that I actually skipped. Sorry. Alright, so back to the story. Goku ends up losing Blue and ends up wandering into the ancient land of Korin, where he saves a little boy named Upa, and as a reward is gifted a Dragon Ball that his father had on hand. While this is all happening though, Blue makes his way back to Red Ribbon HQ and is promptly fired by Big Boss. You think no severance is bad? Commander Red had Blue straight up murdered by legendary mercenary Tao Pai Pai. After literally tonguing the general to death, Tao grabs a pillar and yeets it to the land of Korin where his target is located. Tao arrives at the sacred lands and starts to wreck shop. He kills Upa's father and after a hard-fought battle, kills Goku. Psych! Goku was saved by his grandpa's ball! Lucky for him, he has 3 days till Tao comes back from the tailor. The monkey boy vows to revive Upa's father using the power of the Dragon Balls, and after learning that at the top of the legendary tower lies a way to get stronger, Goku begins his long climb to the top to gain some hidden power. At the top, he meets Korin, a cute little cat. Korin spends the next 3 days seemingly messing with Goku, but is actually training his speed and power. We're also introduced to Senzu Beans. As long as you ain't dead, it'll heal you up no problem. This won't become annoying later. Goku drinks some tap water and swan dives off of Korin Tower for his rematch with Tao Pai Pai. Goku wins! Oh, but he's not done yet. There are still 2 more balls and they are in Red Ribbon Army's base. All of his friends learn that Goku plans to storm the base alone, so they gather up and make their way to the base for backup. Oh. Okay. So the last ball is actually not in the base, and the Dragon Radar isn't picking it up. So they all go to a fortune teller named Baba to find its location. But the lady ain't giving her secrets that easy. This is an action manga after all, so we have to fight our way for some answers. It's a 5v5 back-to-back battle with some epic opponents. First they fight a vampire. Then they fight the Invisible Man. Oh no, there's a mummy. Ah! After that, there's Spike, the Devil Man. After those hard-fought battles, though, we are left with Goku fighting one last opponent, a strange masked man. The fight is tough, but Roshi senses something familiar with this guy. As if Roshi trained him long ago. As if this man is an adopted grandfather. As if this man's name is
Gohan, Goku's deceased grandfather.
It's Gohan. It's Goku's grandpa, Gohan. Baba gave Gohan a 1-day fast pass to the land of the living, knowing that he was going to be able to fight Goku and see how the kid's doing. It's a genuinely sweet reunion. Goku doesn't show a ton, if any, emotions, so this is a fantastic change of pace. I really like it.
Sayonara.
Baba tells the team where the last ball is, and with a farewell to Gohan, Goku makes his way to the Pilaf gang, who have the last Dragon Ball. An epic battle ensues and Upa's father's back. Toriyama really found his place with the amount of action in this arc. From here on out, it's all action all the time, baby. And what better way to celebrate with another... It's a tournament, so you know the vibe. We're introduced to the Crane Hermit, a rival to Master Roshi, who has his own set of students. We got Chiaotzu, a little psychic boy, and Tien Shinhan, a bald dude with 3 eyes. Don't ask.
Midget.
Chiaotzu, stop. You know it's not polite to make fun of your inferiors.
These 2 guys will become beloved main characters until eventually getting sidelined by people far stronger than them, but forget about that. It's quarterfinals time! Versus Yamcha versus Tien. Oh my god! Hey, Jackie Chun is back. He's fighting a man-wolf. Krillin fights Chiaotzu and wins. Goku fights a filler character. Then we have Jackie Chun versus Tien. Roshi, knowing just how evil his rival is, tries to convince Tien that he can use his powers for good, but the message doesn't reach the 3-eyed man, and Roshi, knowing full well he'd get his ass kicked, hops out of the ring. Next up is Goku versus Krillin, the first real fight between the two, and they both promise to give it their all. It is awesome seeing these 2 go all out and witness just how far they've become as fighters. Krillin puts up a good fight, but of course is eventually defeated by Goku. Now we're at the final match. Tien Shinhan versus Son Goku. Crane School versus Turtle School. Who will win? It's Tien. Goku does come close though, only losing because he hits the ground first. This fight is definitely where we get that Dragon Ball pizzazz. They're throwing out beams, using destructive attacks. Tien grows arms. After the fight, they're buddies. Tien learns that his master was a dick and strives to be better. Before leaving the tournament though, Goku heads to the back to grab his stuff. Once back there though, he finds his best friend Krillin. Dead. And here we have some good old high stakes. A monster came in and killed Krillin. The dude's dead. Though he did leave a clue, and this gives Roshi some PTSD. He tells the story of how his master once defeated an insurmountable evil, Demon King Piccolo. Though the old man was able to seal the Demon King in a rice cooker, it cost him his life. But now the king is back, baby, and he wants eternal youth. Though we find that part out when it's shown that Pilaf and the gang are helping the old crusty king find the Dragon Balls. Everybody splits up to find the balls before the other group gets them, but after some hard-fought battles, it was all for naught. Piccolo gets his wish. With the immense power he's gained from becoming young, he kills Shenron, nullifying the power of the Dragon Balls. He then makes his way to the King of the Earth's castle to start his rule of the world. At this point, Goku wakes up, pooped after his fight with Piccolo. The only reason Goku's not dead is because Piccolo thought he was dead since, Goku's heart stopped beating. Turns out he wasn't dead, and his heart stopped beating because it did. Okay. He gets his new guy Yajirobe to carry him up Korin Tower to grab some senzu beans. The tower that took Goku a couple days to climb takes Yajirobe a couple hours to climb. Okay. Before dipping, Korin gives Goku the Ultra Divine Water to give him a power-up. Even though last time the water was just tap and the real power came from training, but I guess Korin had this water the whole time. Kind of spits in the face of the whole, training and self-improvement part of the story, but okay. Goku bails and arrives just in time to save Tien from being demolished by one of Piccolo's henchmen. Being the MC, he easily defeats this monster, and with determination on his face, he begins the decisive battle with the Demon King himself. The battle is brutal as the two shoot off destructive energy blasts and pummel each other to exhaustion. After some point, Piccolo decides to play dirty and grabs Tien, threatening to kill him if Goku doesn't do as he says. Goku of course submits as Piccolo starts toying with the boy, brutally breaking each one of his limbs. The Demon King, ready to put an end to this all, rises into the air and begins a full charge against Goku. Goku, using the one and only arm he has left, sends out a massive one-armed Kamehameha towards the ground, launching himself up into the air. And with all of his strength focused into one fist, Goku launches himself right through the villain's chest, putting an end to the Demon King Piccolo. Goku has saved the day, but for how long? Before Piccolo explodes, he shoots out an egg far away. The egg contains Piccolo Jr., a clone of the original with all of his memories. Now at this point, the story finally settles into what it will finally be for the rest of its run. A villain appears, Goku fights them, loses, his friends fight them, loses, then Goku defeats the villain. Of course, I'm being a bit flippant, but as a way to describe the blueprints of a Dragon Ball arc, I'd say that Toriyama doesn't stray too far from this. And with this arc over, it's time for another tournament. Oh shit, Krillin! Well, the world's saved, but everyone that Piccolo killed is stuck in purgatory since, the green dude killed Shenron. I guess the only thing Goku can do is meet the dude who made the balls in the first place. Directly above the massively tall Korin Tower lies Kami's Lookout, a beautiful palace that houses the god of Earth. But before Goku can meet God himself, he must be tested first by his servant, Mr. Popo.
My name is Mr. Popo.
Jesus, this... Wow. I mean, I know the series is, old and shit, but, this is some minstrel shit, bro. Oh, my God. So Goku fails the test, but Kami knows he's a good kid and decides to meet him anyways. The Earth's Guardian emerges from the shadow and reveals that he's Piccolo? Like the same green dude that just wanted to destroy Earth. Goku just fought him. What the fuck? Okay, so Piccolo and Kami used to be one dude, but then split into two dudes, one being bad and one being good. Bad becoming, Demon King, good becoming god of Earth. So Kami goes all model kid on Shenron, and Bulma, being back on the ground, uses the Dragon Balls to revive all of Piccolo's villains. I said villains, I meant fucking victims. The world is back to normal, and Goku decides to stay in Kami's lookout to train for the next. Geez, how many of these things are there? 3 years have passed and everyone's back together. Goku, all grown up, shocks everyone with his transformation into a man. Prelims are a breeze as always, so let's get into the Q finals. Tien versus Tao Pai Pai? I thought the dude was dead. Okay, I guess he's a cyborg now, but Tien defeats him easily. Goku versus Woman. This girl is pissed at Goku for A, not remembering her, and B, the promises he made. Okay, so this is Chi-Chi, you know, the Ox King's daughter from all the way back. You see, Goku, back then, made a promise to her to get married. Well, he didn't really know what marriage was. He hardly knew the difference between a boy and a girl, but, you know, the man's pure at heart, so he kind of just agrees to it. I guess our boy's engaged. Krillin versus Piccolo Jr. They grow up so fast. Krillin tries to fight the Demon King, but knows it's hopeless and just FFs. Next up is our golden boy Yamcha versus this unassuming man named Hero. The man doesn't really seem to know what he's doing, but fumbles his way into defeating Yamcha. The disrespect you receive is immeasurable. Goku versus Tien. Rematch of the decade. Goku easily wins. Then we have Hero versus Junior. This is where the man kicks into high gear and starts going nutty, all culminating into the evil containment wave, the move that sealed Piccolo all those years ago. So it turns out this man is just Kami who hijacked this rando's body. Piccolo knew his other half would try to pull some BS and reverses the move. Kami, not wanting to sacrifice an innocent man, hops out of the body and forfeits, leaving the task of defeating this evil once and for all to Goku. The rematch of the century, Goku versus Piccolo, good versus evil, hero versus villain, 18-year-old versus 3-year-old.
3 years have passed since Goku defeated King Piccolo.
The battle once again is brutal, with heavy blows being dished out and destructive blasts destroying the surrounding area. But with the newfound power of flight, Goku flies headfirst into Piccolo, hitting him in the chest and winning his first ever World Martial Arts tournament. Kami is about to publicly execute Junior, but Goku stops him. You see, if one dies, so does the other. Goku knows this. He doesn't want to lose Kami, the man who trained him. He cares for him.
Beat up.
Okay, so honestly, the real reason this bastard doesn't want Piccolo dead is because he wants to fight him again. After every single arc after this one, Goku spares the villain because he wants a fucking fight. Sacrificing, you know, the safety of the Earth, later the universe, for a fucking fight. Well, Goku flies off with his bride-to-be, and that's the end of Dragon Ball. With any story, there's bits and pieces that you could cut out, and Dragon Ball is no different. But as a whole, this pseudo-prequel is a fun time. You get some endearing and fun characters, some of the most iconic moments in manga/anime history, and some nice rising stakes that are super easy for the audience to follow. Sure, it can be annoying at times with the constant gags, but you know, you do have to remember that this series was ultimately created with little kids in mind, not some 25-year-old on the internet. Do you need to read Dragon Ball before getting into Z? No. But I'd say to get the full experience, it is more than worth seeing how such an iconic series started. Thank you so much for watching this video. I had a lot of fun reading the Dragon Ball manga, and I am going to get right into making the Dragon Ball Z video. So if you liked it, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Give me your love and praise. It fuels me, empowers me, and makes me want to keep going. Trust me, I really need it. That's not desperate at all. Anyways, thanks so much, you know. See you on the next one. You know, like the... Oh, fuck. Cringe.